Hello and welcome to the Kayden Show, today's best country mix. And joining me right here today is Xavier Joseph. Xavier, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. So, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a country artist from the great state of Texas. I started off in a very different way than most artists do. I actually started off doing professional tap dancing, professional musical theater, all that good stuff. And then, as the twists and turns went, I kind of started joining a country western swing group. It was kind of by accident, just to help someone out. And that was like my first introduction to country music. And I kind of fell in love with country music as a whole, just because I never really heard much of it. I didn't really grow up in a country music household. So once I was doing all that, I went to go see my first country music concert, which was Brad Paisley, and I never knew that country music could be such a show, so exciting. So I kind of fell in love with it. I fell in love with it right then and there, but I wasn't really convinced that I was capable of doing anything like that. So I still pursued my musical theater. I moved up to New York City for a couple years, did some shows up there and all this amazingness. But what really changed the game was the Grand Ole Opry opened up a Opry Mills like restaurant slash live
Hmm.
music venue there on Times Square. They opened it up like right around the middle of my year when I was there in New York, and it was only open for that 1 year. It closed like a couple months after I returned back to Texas,
Hmm.
and I went there once for fun, and I just started continuously returning after auditions and stuff because I enjoyed it so much. I loved the country music culture, and it felt just like home. They had live artists come and everything. So um, eventually, there was just one day I came back to my wife in our apartment, and I was like, you know what? I really think this is something that I feel it in my bones. If I really push and pursue this, I could do something with it. So that took us up to about 2019. We came back, and I've been uh, hitting the country music scene since 2019, and I was ready to do some awesome stuff in 2020. Then we know how that all went. Everything kind of
Hmm.
down. So I didn't officially get to start doing my music and working on this full time until about 2021 is when this whole shindig really got kicked off. So
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like that have happened to everybody, unfortunately.
yeah, no, it was rough because that's what I just
Hmm.
put together. I done in 2019 pretty much almost a whole year of acoustic shows. I
Hmm.
kind of just getting my feet in the water, starting to learn who the players are around here, starting to do radio interviews and things like that. So I was ready. So I put a band together so we could start doing bigger shows and bring
Hmm.
those markets. And then we got one show done, and that was it in 2020. And then the band, since there was no shows for like
Hmm.
the rest of the year, the band kind of split up because they had to go off and do their own thing. So I had to basically start from scratch again in 2021. But like everything, um, everything was a blessing. The guys that I work with now, I wouldn't trade them for the world. They are the most amazing group of guys. They're such a tight niche family now. We're traveling around doing everything all over Texas. We got shows every weekend, 2 to 3 nights every weekend. It's fun. I mean, country music, it's been a great ride so far. So I mean, we're just getting started with everything.
Well, that's awesome. And like that whole gap, and I feel like when you move back to Texas, it's probably like, oh, okay, well, here's 2019, and then COVID hit, so that was probably like the worst time to even start anything. Or we didn't know everything was going to shut
Yeah,
down. So,
yeah. No, it was a very difficult difficult time because I was just gearing up, just getting started. So I wasn't, like some of the other artists that had already kind of they had enough
mhm,
content, they had enough to kind of coast, not coast, they had some things to put out, some things to do, they had a following. I didn't have any of that by 2020, so I wasn't really sure
mhm,
where to turn. I almost ended up giving up the whole thing because I was like, I don't know where to turn. Like, I don't know what to do. Who knows how long COVID's going to last? Who knows what's going to happen? So that was my own like existential crisis type thing in 2020. Like, what do I do? I don't even know. COVID could last 3 years, and I could keep trying and trying and be wasting time. Or what am I going to do? But um, so 2020 was a weird one. But towards the end of it, it was one of those you at least in Texas, you could see it kind of not going away, but you could see some places were starting to open
mhm.
up a little bit. Little opportunities were happening here and there, and it was like, okay, let me just start reaching out, doing these things and see what happens. And it started to be successful. So that's why I was like, okay, we can do this. If we really put our put our nose to the pavement and start doing it, we could do this. So it was great. Never, like I said, since 2021, literally the day after New Year's of 2021, it's been just one crazy ride. We've been doing so many amazing different venues, from awesome little bars all the way to like concert openings and stuff like that. So it's been fantastic. So we're very blessed the way things are going. I think we're definitely doing a good job at making up for lost time.
Yes, absolutely. And do you have like a side job that you do during the day?
Um, so I do, and I do in the sense that, I mean, I have something else that assists produce
Mm-hmm.
money. Music is really like my full-time thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I travel Friday to Sunday or Thursday to Sunday, depending on the week. But I
Mm-hmm.
do, I own a couple of units, apartment units in
Oh,
downtown
okay. Yep.
Houston. So I rent those out, and kind of I would say a property manager, if you will,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
for different units in College Station, Texas, or in Houston, Texas. And like, we're about to sell those units, buy some more units, do different things. So that's kind of my day job, if you
Mm-hmm.
will. The thing that I do that's not country music, but realistically, country music is the thing that I pour my whole heart and soul into. It does. I feel fortunate to at least to be able to make some money off of it. To be able to support myself and support my band and do all that good stuff. So I would almost say that the music is the full time, and the property management is like the side hustle, if you will.
Yeah, and that's super important, to see some, income in it too. I agree. And you don't see much from it, including myself, doing this. You don't see much, but you see some of it. You
Well,
see
the
based
biggest
off
thing
of
that
merch.
yeah, the biggest thing, we just started selling merch. I
Hmm.
started growing slowly. I didn't go and like invest tons and tons of money and go into like thousands of dollars worth of debt to get everything set
Yeah.
up and ready to go. I have good people around me, whether it's management or people who work in the tech space or whatever, that assist me kind of figure out
Hmm.
how much I should put towards what when. But I think the really the big thing is, because I do know some other artists who have been doing this for a long time
Hmm.
and they're not making tons of money from it. There's nothing to do with them as artists. It's just, I know it's a scary thing to kind of just jump and kind of burn the boats and just go. And it's like,
Hmm.
once you start doing it, you start really believing in yourself, you start really fighting for it, you start really emailing venues, contacting
Yeah.
venues, producing
Yeah.
good quality music, and you just kind of decide and commit, this is what I'm going to do. It's a slow process, but it starts working. If you're, a lot of people are afraid to just like commit to it,
Hmm.
because like we said, there's, the starving artist, there's no music and
Right.
money, there's
That
no
that's the
music and
point. Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to get across here. Yep.
yeah.
Hmm.
So, but like I said, if you were, and everybody's situation is different, but
Yeah.
if you ask, if you ask someone like Cody Johnson if there's no music and money, he's not going to say, nah, there's no music and money. You know, he's doing a lot of stuff, and he
Hmm.
started off selling stuff in the back of his truck. So it's working hard and fighting for what you
Hmm.
want if you really want it. That's the biggest thing. Don't get into this if you don't really want to do it. That's the thing.
Yes, and that's like something that you just got to understand, and that's perfect advice there. You kind of took my question and already answered it for me for my next one. And I think that's super important because if you're in it for the money, like I've heard many times, but I think we should repeat it again because it's super important. If you're going in for the money, you're not gonna,
Yeah.
get anywhere.
Yeah, and that's for most things. If you do anything with just money as your forefront, it doesn't usually work out in your favor because you're focusing on the wrong thing. But you go in there, you love the music. I mean, you got to at some point make something, so reality's got to kick in at some point. But you go in there, you focus on doing the best product and doing the work, the best job you can.
Hmm.
It will happen. You just got to figure out how that works in your situation, depending on whatever your situation you're in. So, but it's a great life. you know
Hmm. I agree. So, what do you like doing outside of music? Do you have any hobbies?
yeah, so there's like I said, I used to do a lot of professional dance, and I still teach, because not to toot my own horn in that respect, but I have a very unique style. of tap dance, very much a musician style
Mm-hmm.
of tap dance, because I learned from some of the old greats in tap dance. So I do go and I teach that, and I enjoy teaching students that. I also teach an artist development course, kind of helping, up and coming artists in whatever they want to do. Even if it's physically just, drawing, if it's whatever, something in the arts, kind of assisting them past just the artistic point of view, and actually like what you would do from the business side, being prepared, all those different things that we don't as artists sometimes focus on, which is so important. So I teach different things that are passionate to me. I love to bowl. That's one of my like silly hobbies, if you will. I love to bowl, and I love to golf, even though I'm absolutely horrible at it. I enjoy just the whole idea of being there golfing and whatnot. So I got a couple hobbies, and obviously my biggest pastime, it's obviously not a hobby, but my biggest pastime that is not music is being a father. That's my most important job, my most important pastime, if you will. So, it's good. It's good. There's a lot to keep me busy in each day.
And that's super important as well, keeping busy, but also not getting to the point where you're about to like shut down, you
Yeah,
know?
you always want
Hmm.
to take time to sharpen your axe, and take the time to really focus on your own self-being and self-care
Hmm.
and all that good stuff. And sometimes, grinding harder and harder is not the answer. Sometimes you really need to, you go as hard as you can. Then you need to take a day, maybe even 2 days, depending,
Hmm.
and just let yourself just enjoy it, because life is supposed to be fun. You
Hmm.
don't have to. It's not supposed to be all day grinding, struggling, all that. It's not supposed to be that. And it's music. It's music.
Hmm.
You're in it, I'm in it for the love of
Right.
what we do, our respective parts of it, for the love of what we do. Once you feel that love going away because it's like so much work, you got
Hmm.
to take a second, breathe, and then come back to it.
Yeah, because once like you're in a mood that's like, ooh, how to explain it? I don't know. Depends for everyone, but once you're in like a mood that's not really for love anymore, that's like your calling point to like back off.
Yeah, it affects everything you do. I know sometimes when I'm just like exhausted, I can't. I start messing up just regular little
Hmm.
songs that I know are super simple, super easy 4 chord songs that I'll mess up just because I'm just overwhelmed. I'm just tired. So yeah, you always want to make sure that you come fresh and give your
Hmm.
best, especially when it's time to get on stage and stuff like that. It's important to, you know, um, show up so you can do your
Hmm.
best. I know that I have a show on Friday, so I'm not going to sit there and practice and belt out every single song and stuff like
Hmm.
that for all these days, in the name of grinding and having good
Hmm.
practice. I will practice, I'll do this, but I will take it easy so that I have a good full voice when it comes time to do a 3-day show, you know?
Totally. Where do you see yourself in the next couple of years?
So in the next couple of years, there's 2 stages that I want to be on, and once I get on, I can call it a day if I need to. I've hit the peak of what I consider my career. Is I want to be on the Grand Ole Opry stage, and I want to
Hmm.
be on the stage of the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. And with how hard we are grinding, with how fast we are working, I could see realistically in 2 years, maybe 3 years, getting on, the Opry stage and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Those are some entrenched goals, for me, and I always set very, very high standard of goals. But you know, I see myself truly, in that time, touring full time, full time touring with the same guys that I have right now, because I couldn't do this without them. And really just, continuously recording, continuously producing music. Probably at that point,
Hmm.
having a #1 on the Texas radio. I've had up to top 50, so we're pushing for a top #1 on Texas radio. Um, who knows exactly where it's going to take me, but I
Hmm.
know in 2 years I'll still be here, and we'll be making a lot of progress, and we'll be in a very different spot than we are now.
Absolutely. So, do you have any new singles or any upcoming projects you want to chat about?
Yeah, so we have a single that we just released to radio about, let's see, 3 weeks ago. It's called Straight to You. It's off of my debut album that released back in the end of October. And this is a really, really fun song that we recorded. And it kind of took inspiration from the fact that, for me personally, I drive around, I'm putting so many miles on my truck all over the place. And it talks about basically at the end of the day, my sole focus is getting back to you as fast as I can so that we can basically just spend time together, just be together. It could be whether it's your wife, whether it's your kid, whether it's your dog, whether it's your mom, dad, whatever it is. It just, for me, it resonates. And I know it does for a lot of other people that way too, is because at the end of the day, you just want to go, you've had a long day, you just want to get back. It's a super simple song. That's what country music is a lot of times. It's super simple. But it has a really nice, a really powerful meaning, and it's said through some very catchy licks and musical motifs and whatnot. So we actually have a music video coming out for that song, Straight to You, in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Something of the campaign, the release campaign strategy is just getting underway right now. We're going to be releasing 2 more songs before the end of the year. So we got some sponsorship stuff in the works. So I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff, but the main thing right now that we're pushing and we're excited to share with everybody is the new single, Straight to You.
Wonderful. That's awesome. First and foremost, congratulations on those songs. You're most welcome. So I know you wanted to play a song or two. Kind of tell me a little bit about what you wanted to play.
Yeah. So what I would like to, I'll just grab this guy over here. So I can do, let's see. What I'll do is I'll just actually play the single.
Okay.
Actually, I guess I'm looking at myself. You can't see my guitar, but it exists. You can hear it.
Yeah.
So it's there.
We saw it when you put it up, at least for the people that's watching it. Listening, they wouldn't know. So
So I'm gonna play my most recent single. This is titled Straight to You. At the end of the day, you know where I'd be. Ain't no mystery. Living for the night, feeling the cut. That's right. George Strait, living it up. Hitting every spot in this town when the sun goes down. I go straight, kicking up dust, running down the road, raising hell in my truck. Straight to the bar, tipping on back, take a shot in the dark. Got a little sideways stuck in ice, so you hit me like 100 proof. Straight to my head, straight to my heart is true. Now I go straight to you. Now I go straight to you. I was 2 for 1s, now I'm 1 for 2. Since you lit me up with the way you move and the glow, the bonfire flame. Well, that's when everything changed. Who knew getting lost I'd find my way? I go straight, kicking up dust, running down the road, raising hell in my truck. Straight to the bar, tipping on back, take a shot in the dark. Got a little sideways stuck in ice, so you hit me like 100 proof. Straight to my head, straight to my heart is true. Now I go straight to you. Still get a little crazy now and then, but where I'm headed sure ain't where I'm been. I go straight, kicking up dust, running down the road, raising hell in my truck. Straight to the bar, kicking on back, take a shot in the dark. Got a little sideways stuck in ice till you hit me like 100 proof. Straight to my head, straight to my heart is true. Now I go straight to you. Now I go straight to you.
such a great song.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I think that there's a lot of good words in there.
Thank you. Yeah, no, all the songs that we record, that we write, the whole goal is that no matter what, they could all potentially be singles. That we could all put them and they could all stand on their own. I know that sometimes, when you're working on an album or something, it's like
Mhm.
we know these are the good songs and these are the ones we like, but they're more like filler songs, if you will. This every single song that we record, we always want to put our heart and soul into everything that I put, my team and I puts on an album. So we make sure that it could all stand on its own, as a single if it needs to be.
That's wonderful. So where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, so the biggest places that I hang out on social media is Instagram at Xavier Joseph and Facebook at Xavier Joseph Music. The biggest pivot point for everything is my website, xavierjoseph.com. You can see all the different shows I'm going to be playing. You can see all the latest releases, the different music videos. There's emails that come out every 2 weeks to kind of give an update on what we're doing and everything like that. So those are the best places: Facebook, Instagram, my website, and obviously Spotify and Apple Music and Pandora and all those. You type in Xavier Joseph, you're going to find me. So yeah, and I appreciate all the spins and all that. Everybody's been showing so much love towards the music on radio, on Spotify, on Apple Music. So I appreciate all the love that everyone's been showing this song and some of my other songs that are on there.
Absolutely. And is there anything that I forgot to mention that you would like to mention, Xavier?
I don't think so. I think we covered a wide gamut of topics. But no, I mean, we covered the new song, we covered personal stuff, we covered giving it your all, we covered pretty much everything.
Wonderful. Well, again, I would like to thank Xavier Joseph for coming on the Kayden Gordon Show today's Best Country Mix. We appreciate your time so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.